Sunday after Sunday. Before Bill so rudely interrupted you.
You didn't think that was pleasant?
It was gripping television.
I know you had something to say before we had to go to
I was just saying, Ryan's tape was good in the sense that, when you think about New England, what they do offensively, it's James White and it's Julian Edelman. Mm-hmm. Those are the guys that kind of are in the circle of trust for Tom Brady. They win one-on-one matchups. And so if you have a guy that you're defending that wins one-on-one matchups, what do? You double him. You make it be a one-on-two matchup. It's how you stop him. When you try to do that in the past, there was always another guy. Mm-hmm. It was Gronk. Gronk would win one-on-ones. Edelman would win one-on-ones, and they'd have a back that could win one-on-ones. And so it was hard. It was hard to figure out, who are you doubling? Well, now it's a little bit easier, and it can be a little bit easier on formation, and you can do a better job of disguising it, because of, one, where Edelman plays, where the back is coming from, versus when Rob Gronkowski would be split outside the numbers and you felt like you had to double him, it would you would show your hand.
Yep.
And so I just think that, the Chiefs did a nice job of finding the ways to double. Mm-hmm. It's harder for the quarterback to decipher the double, and other guys aren't winning. I mean,
you got to understand, too, when both of your guys that win one-on-ones are inside players, and I think that's what Tim was alluding to. Now I can move the safeties around and we don't have to go so far. When you have a number one wide receiver that can win, when I played free safety and we played Chad Johnson, or you played A.J. Green, or you played against Randy Moss.
Guys that line up outside the numbers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would have to show early, even if I was standing in the middle of the field, I would have to get to the numbers or get outside of the hashes so the corner could feel comforted that I was there. But I also wanted that quarterback to see it, so he had to go away from that look. Yeah. You don't have to do that when it's Julian Edelman in the slot and James White in the backfield. And we've talked about the trouble that guys have had getting open all year, and I think that's just another piece of it. No one can win one-on-ones, and when you can't do that, you can take away what they do best.
When's the last time we've seen Tom Brady this frustrated? Because he has been frustrated, it looks like, anyway, on the tape over the last few weeks.
I think what's interesting is it's been a stretch of games. Mm-hmm. It's been weeks. I mean, throughout his career, he'd be frustrated about stuff. I think he wants the guys around him to play at a high level. Look, I will still say this. I mean, are they 10-3? I mean, they're 10-3, and it feels like, we're acting like they're 3-10. They're not. They're a 10-3 football team that, people still aren't going to want to play in the postseason.
Absolutely not. And I think the other piece of it, though, and we're acting like they're, 3-10, it's because Tom Brady has seemed to be acting like that for weeks now. We've seen Tom Brady, after many of these wins, kind of melancholy. You can see that he wasn't necessarily excited about the way his team was playing, because for this team, the goals are different. Right? Like, we don't care what the New England Patriots are in the regular season. And I don't necessarily believe Tom Brady does either. He cares about championships, and he wants to see this team progress and get to a point to where they can win one. He's a true competitor, and he wants to play well. And like Tim said, he wants people around him to play well, and he understands he's the leader.
It also feels different. I don't care what anybody says. Everyone's like, we're just concerned about the win, or, what. It also feels different, win or lose. If you throw for 180 yards or whatever, he threw for under 180 yards, I believe. That feels different, and that's not normal for him. Like in a passing era, to feel like you're playing in an offense, and everyone says you're the best to ever play. To be playing in an offense that
can't pass,
that you literally need gadget plays to create and generate offense. Yeah, that's got to feel weird.
But think about this. Right, this is Tom Brady, to me, the greatest quarterback of all time. When you look at his career, his accomplishments, and how long he stayed on top of the game. Mm-hmm. And now we look at these young gunners that are playing quarterback, the Lamar Jacksons, the Deshaun Watsons, the Patrick Mahomes, all of these new guys in the AFC. Well, they lost to all of them
That's what I was going to say.
Year.
Those are the three losses right there.
And they lost to all of those guys this year. And so when you look at that from the opposite side and you're Tom Brady, you're trying to figure out what you have to do to help this defense that has played extremely well this season. Giving up 23 to the Kansas City Chiefs, there's no shame in that. And you expect to have an opportunity to win. And when Tom Brady is your quarterback, you expect to win when you can do that.
Let's talk about one of those gunners that you mentioned. What does this win tell you about Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Well, I think it tells you a lot about them. And I think probably first and foremost, if you say, Mahomes and the Chiefs, it's what Ryan's, done a tape on the last 2 weeks, which has been they're getting better on defense. And so if you just think, they intercepted Tom Brady today. They had an interception last week. If you're turning the football over and giving that offense more opportunities, you have a chance.
Andy Reid, Spags runner.
and came back, so that was good. You know, Pat hurt his hand early in this game, and you know, it's you know we think it's okay, but I mean we'll see how it goes. But it was hard for him to grip the ball and do the things that he he needed to do there. So, but he powered through it. Didn't say much. You know, that's how he is. So. You know, we'll take an X-ray of it as we go here and MRIs all that stuff that we do. Listen, all in all, a good football game. I think for the fans to watch. I mean, you had two good teams playing each other. I mean, the Patriots, their history says, you know, everything. So, and that's what made it such a special game. Bill's done a phenomenal job here, as Tom has, and the rest of their coaches. I'm proud of my coaches, the coordinators. I thought EB had a great plan offensively, Spags defensively, Tobe, you know, from a special team standpoint. So and the guys stuck to it. You know, the guys played their tail off. So you just knew it was going to come down to the end. And I mean, and it did. You know, it did. So, you know, we've got to clean some things up. We had too many penalties. We got to take care of that and make sure that we work on that. We got a hot Denver Bronco team coming in, so we've got to take care of, get ourselves ready, get back. A long trip here, so we got to get back and get rested up and get ready for Denver. So with that, time's yours.
Coach, first of all, congratulations on winning the SC West for the fourth straight year. What does that mean to you as a coach, also the owner and the organization and the team?
Yeah, well, I'm partial. I think I've, you know, got the best owner around. So I mean, I'm partial to that. So it starts there, and he gave us all an opportunity to be here, and we're trying to do the best we possibly can with that chance. So, but it's not one person. It takes everybody. We've all got a part of it. You guys included for supporting us, right? So I mean, we're all in it, and there's nothing more than you'd like to see than victories. So I'm proud of all our guys.
Coach, you mentioned a slow. Was Pat at any point close to coming out of the game?
No, but he kept messing with that hand, and I could tell he wasn't gripping all that well. But he never says anything, so I'm not gonna make a big stink out of anything. So.
Coach, you mentioned a slow start.
I'll get you here. Just yep.
In the second half, I mean, with penalties and Pat's injury.
Yeah, we had the turnover. Yeah. The guys bear down. I'm proud of our defense right all the way down to the end. Like I said, I think everybody knew it was going to come down to that, and we got a bunch of things we can clean up and do, but we're going to enjoy this for the flight back, and then we'll get back ready to go against Denver.
Coach, you mentioned a slow start. Can any of that be attributed to the equipment being late to the game?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I know Alan takes the grunt of this. That's not probably Alan's had a couple games he's been the equipment man for. So there are other things that got involved, and I just know this: everybody stayed calm, and just it happened. So I mean, it wasn't a big deal, and that. I've been doing it for a lot of years, and one out of how many ever years I've been doing it, it keeps things exciting.
Were you all nervous that it wasn't going to show up?
No, not at all. I think everybody did a good job of getting it back here. We had plenty of time, and we rolled,
Coach, the running game today, your thoughts on where it's
We talked about Tom Brady's demeanor after games. Listen to what he has to say now after this loss.
Tom, when you guys were heading to the locker room after the first half, there was some audible boos coming from the crowd throughout the stadium. Can you guys hear that on the field when you guys are heading to the locker room?
Yeah, you hear cheers, you hear boos. It's part of being in sports.
What was your reaction when that happened after you guys finished with the 7 points in the first half?
Try to go in and play better, basically.
I don't want to blame the officials, but you realize you threw a touchdown pass, a legit touchdown pass to N'Keal Harry that was not whatsoever, and how frustrating is that?
Yeah, doesn't happen very often, so it happened. So we still had a chance, and wish we could have scored there at the end. So.
Tom, can you just talk about what you saw when you took off to run you were pretty pumped up at the end of it if you thought, good things were going to happen from that. But just kind of what you saw and why you took off.
Yeah, they were playing a double coverage and just had a little space. So it's nice to get the first down there. We needed it. And we got down in the scoring area and just couldn't quite get it in. So disappointed in that.
We know things were perfect. You're demanding offensively, but going back to Baltimore second half, when you guys were really in rhythm prior to the fumble, it seems like it's been a couple weeks, but it felt like energy, sense of purpose was there offensively. Felt like you guys were in a little bit of a, I won't call it a shootout, but you were going up and down pretty good today.
Yeah, we had some, we got the ball, we moved it, we just didn't, we had some plays there where we could have scored and just, couldn't quite, we had a fourth down, we had, some other ones in the red area, so a couple fourth downs, just didn't make the plays when we needed to make them.
Tom, you guys lost a couple December games last year. Things turned out all right for you guys. How do you handle this mini losing streak with just 3 games left with the ultimate goal still in reach?
Well, we just got to go out and try to play better and try to win, next week's game. So disappointing, but, not going to feel sorry for ourselves. Try to go back to work and do a better job.
Tom, 2 weeks in a row where the first half offense looks completely different from the second half offense. Is there a simple explanation for how things can look so different from quarter to quarter and from half to half?
I think we're just trying to figure out what works. So I think you have an idea, and then you see how the game unfolds, and then you got to make some adjustments. So we tried to make some adjustments there in the second half, and they threw a lot of different defenses at us. Some we handled pretty good, others we didn't, and it was a good game by them.
Yeah, Tom, over the years, late in seasons, you've probably figured out more things than any quarterback in the history of the game. Are you confident this time around you can figure out your offensive issues, and if so, why?
I don't want to make any predictions. I don't think that's, I think we come in with a plan to get better every week and try to win each game, and each game takes on a little different feel, and the situations are a little different, and, it's a different team every year too, so I may have certain experience doing things, but this particular team, as a whole, hasn't been, through different situations. So just try to work through them over the course of the whole season, and we have 3 big games to go, and we gotta get back to winning football.
Tom, I see you got your elbow wrapped there. What's going on there?
I just got hit right on my elbow. It's fine. Probably be on the injury report, but I'll be there next Sunday.
Tom, I want to go back to the N'Keal Harry play, not for what you think of it, obviously, but were you given an explanation by the officials why they called it a certain way?
No, there was, the play clock was kind of ticking down, so it was really just ruled out of bounds, and we didn't have time for that, the 40-second clock. We barely got the next play off. I think everyone thought it was a touchdown. They reviewed it, and we realized we couldn't challenge it, and we just tried to run a quick play.
Tom, how much creativity at this point are you guys trying to inject into your offense on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah.
What Josh is coming up with, just the different things that you're trying to get into the
Yeah, just trying some different things to give us a little spark or momentum. And, we had a couple big ones tonight on the flea flicker, and then on the other one where the halfback pass. So those were good plays. Those were good momentum plays. And wish we could have made a few more of the other ones too. So thank you, Tom. Thank you.
And on the other side, as you see on the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, we're waiting for Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid mentioned his hand got banged up a little bit, so we'll hear straight from Mahomes on that in just a little bit. Mahomes did something basically nobody's been able to do in the Brady Belichick era. Today marks the first time they've lost to a starting QB under the age of 25 at home. They had been 29-0 in the regular season in such games. And again, we'll hear from Patrick Mahomes on that hand injury in just moments as soon as he steps to the podium. Ryan Clark, you have a comment to make.
Patrick Mahomes ain't 25?
Dude.
Why? I feel like he's been playing so long.
He sat, and he's played a couple of years, and he's still not 25. What's your final takeaway from this after hearing from Belichick, Reid, Brady, Mahomes to come?
About this game?
Yeah, about this
game. Well,
just
about this game. I mean, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs. We were looking at them early on in the season and trying to figure out, was this the team we thought could compete to win the AFC Championship, and they weren't playing well defensively. Patrick Mahomes gets injured. You lose some of your skilled players, and this team wasn't playing great. And so now Patrick